All right, here we go. It's time. Let's talk about Mama Tot. Now, I'm going to preface this video by saying this is different than any videos that you've gotten from me before. This is not a grand statement. It is not a professional opinion. It has nothing to do with narcissism or coaching or mental health. These are straight up just my personal opinions from what I have witnessed that make me question, uncomfortable, or want to stay away from Mama Tot and not necessarily believe in that brand. Again, all personal from me, from my experiences, from patterns I've noticed in my personal life. I'm going to lay it all out for you. And yeah, I've got the notes, so buckle up. It's going to be long. So starting right off the bat, number one, the context of the Mama Tot character. So I grew up in the South. I lived there for 24 or 25 years. So basically spent the first quarter of my life there. And I spent a lot of time around people like the Mama Tot character, the sugar, sweet, Southern church mama, especially ones from Alabama. And my experience of those women is you can't trust them. You can't trust any of them. They are sugary sweet like that because they're hiding something. The point of that persona is to manipulate, to keep you from seeing the real problematic behaviors and beliefs that lie underneath. It's a disingenuous kind of personality to put on. It is usually associated in the South with women who are image obsessed. Think the worst preacher's wife you can imagine. These women are also 9.9 out of 10 times in community with full-on people full of hate groups, you name it. They sit in church next to open bigots, racists, homophobes, transphobes, all of that kind of stuff. And for me personally, when I see that, when I see someone who can sit in church pews with hatred, I wonder, well, like, how can you love everybody if you can so comfortably sit in community with hate? The second warning flag for me was her husband. A while back, I saw a video on her husband's channel where he referred to his assistant as woman. I don't know if she was actually his assistant, but it was some girl that was like posting videos for him. And he would say, "Do that, woman." Ha 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 ha. And then Ophelia would laugh in the background. I grew up with a narcissistic, abusive man in the household who frequently used this term to degrade women. He would usually mask it as a joke. He would say things like, "Why don't you go make me a sandwich, woman?" Ha 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 ha, and act like it was a joke. But he would do it like in front of his sons and encourage his sons to do it to her. So it's a very passive aggressive, not really passive, form of degrading a woman and putting her in a lower place. And so to hear Ophelia watch her husband refer to a woman that way and laugh at it, that's a red flag for me personally. For me personally, if I saw a woman laugh at that, I wouldn't be friends with her. Because if she's laughing at that, she's either ignorant, or she has similar beliefs, or she's like comfortable with that, and that makes me very uncomfortable. So that's a problem for me. Ophelia, Mama Tot, has also bullied other smaller creators. There was a black creator, especially, who's still like not even a quarter of the followers that Mama Tot has. And Mama Tot went after this creator during some TikTok drama, questioned her blackness basically, and said, "You're anti-black," because this black woman was talking about things in her black community that she had an opinion on. And then Mama Tot encouraged a bunch of people to go and bully this black creator. And I don't know the full background. I don't know what that black creator said or did, but here's the thing. White women should stay out of black creators' business. Like, if you want to watch in the distance, fine, but there was no reason for Ophelia, with millions of followers, to engage in a community discussion that was happening between black women. They've literally told us not to do that. So her putting her face in that, when you live in Trump country and you've got these other red flags around you, it just makes me question Mama Tot's true anti-racism work. She's also attacked her own followers who came into her comments looking to mutually commiserate with each other on losses. There was a creator who had lost her mother and had basically said in the comments like, "Oh my God, I lost my mother too. How do you deal with it?" And Mama Tot basically accused her of grief thieving and then sent a bunch of her fans to bully that creator. The use of her loss and her grief, I question. Me personally, again, this is just me personally. I know everybody grieves differently and everybody seeks community in that grief differently. But I always question parents who are creators who use the loss of their children so centrally to their content. It's a pattern. And last but not least, for me personally, it is Mama Tot Ophelia's silence and inaction in the face of fascism, when she has such a large platform. That was the nail in the coffin for me. There are horrible things happening in the state of Alabama, including young men being enslaved in the prisons and used as slave labor, essentially in McDonald's, Home Depot. They're being used to clean the highways where they are being killed, struck and killed, young kids. And this is like The Atlantic and things are writing exposés on this, and Mama Tot said nothing. But I think she did just recently maybe talk about a white guy that got out of jail. Anyway, her refusal, despite thousands and thousands of her fans asking for her to speak up for the children in her state that are losing education, for her to speak up against Donald Trump, to try to convince some of her followers to do the right thing in the face of a fascist coup, she's been silent. And at this point, we are at a point now where when you have a platform that large and that many of your fans and followers and supporters are asking you to help them push momentum and you refuse to do it, to me, that's as bad as her coming out in a MAGA hat. Like, her silence and refusal to criticize, to actually criticize, not just leave a cryptic, well, I'm anti-Trump message, to openly say, screw him, screw this, like all of that, to me, personally, that's an endorsement. And even if it's not an endorsement, Mama Tot's refusal to speak out in any significant or clear way, to me, it makes me question her beliefs. It makes me personally believe that she values money and her platform over doing the right thing, and that she would rather be in the wrong if it means getting money than she would prefer to be like uncomfortably right, doing the right thing. She's more comfortable doing wrong than she is doing right. So yeah, there it is, all laid out. My personal no thanks on Mama Tot. You can take it or leave it. I'm not going to engage in any arguments with anybody. Just patterns that I notice that I don't trust. And yeah, good luck to you.